Hi everyone, welcome back to Design Craft channel. Today we're going to crochet BT21 and the character in this video is Mang without the mask. Mang is playful, charming and full of personality, but today we'll see his cute and soft side without the mask, which makes him extra lovable. This BT21 series is something I've crocheted before, but this time I've made a few small changes to the pattern to make Mang look more balanced and detailed. In this video, I'll be showing you how to crochet Mang's full body from start to finish in one complete video, so you don't need to switch between multiple parts. I've also added clear audio instructions, guiding you through each step slowly, which makes it much easier to follow along. If you're a crochet lover and a BT21 fan, this is definitely a project you won't want to miss. Before we start, here are the tools you'll need for this video. You'll need 4-ply cotton yarn, a 2.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a yarn needle, a stuffing tool, and a stitch marker if you need one. You also need a 4mm eye bead and 4mm nose bead. Once you have everything ready, we can start crocheting from the head. Pick up the light purple yarn and make a knot in a magic ring. Into the magic ring, work 6 single crochets. I like to use the X stitch, which is the yarn under method. It helps keep your stitches nice and straight so they don't slant while you're working. Next, pull the yarn tail tightly to close the ring. Then, make a slip stitch into the first stitch to end the round. For round 1, start with 1 chain. Then work an increase in every stitch, which means 2 single crochets in each stitch. You can place a stitch marker in the first stitch to help you keep track of your rounds. By the end of this round, you'll have 12 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, start with 1 chain. Then work 1 single crochet. Followed by 1 increase. Repeat this sequence 6 times. You should have 18 stitches in total. Remember to end each round with a slip stitch and start each round with 1 chain. We'll repeat this method at the start and end of every round. For round 3, start with 1 chain. Then work 1 increase. followed by 2 single crochets. Repeat this sequence 6 times. By the end of this round, you'll have 24 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 4, start with 1 chain. Work 3 single crochet, followed by 1 increase. Repeat this sequence 6 times. By the end of the round, you'll have a total of 30 stitches. For rounds 5 and 6, continue following the pattern to increase as instructed. Make sure to keep your stitch count correct in each round and finish every round with a slip stitch before moving on to the next one. Take your time here. These increases help shape the head nicely. For round 7, we start the color change. Begin with 1 chain, then work 17 single crochet with the purple yarn. On the 17th stitch, the stitch just before changing to white, place the yarn tail in front of your hook. Insert the hook into both loops, yarn under and pull through. Now pick up the white yarn, yarn over, and pull through with the white yarn to complete the stitch. Next, work 3 single crochet with the white yarn. On the 3rd white stitch, we do the same technique. Place yarn tail in front of your hook, insert into both loops, yarn under, and pull through. Then switch back to purple yarn, yarn over, and pull through with the purple yarn to complete the stitch. Work 4 single crochet with purple yarn. This method keeps the color transitions neat and smooth, making Mang's inside head look clean and well-defined. Then, on the stitch just before changing to white again, the 4th stitch, repeat the same technique. Next, work 3 single crochet with the white yarn. Then switch back to purple yarn and continue with the remaining single crochet stitches. This round should have a total of 42 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close it. For rounds 8 and 9, start the round with 1 chain. Work 16 single crochet with the purple yarn. Next, switch to white yarn and work 5 single crochet. Switch back to purple yarn and work 2 single crochet. Then, switch to white yarn again and work 5 single crochet. Finally, switch back to purple yarn and work single crochet for the remaining stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close it. Each round should have a total of 42 stitches. For round 10, we'll start shaping the head. Begin with 1 chain, then work 1 invisible decrease. To work the invisible decrease, insert your hook into the front loops of the next 2 stitches, yarn under and pull through, then yarn under again and pull through all loops on your hook. Next, work 5 single crochet. Repeat this sequence one more time. 1 invisible decrease, followed by 5 single crochet. Then work 1 invisible decrease. On this decrease, we'll need to switch to white yarn for the next stitch. So place the yarn tail in front of your hook, then work the invisible decrease. Now pick up the white yarn, yarn over, and pull through with the white yarn to complete the stitch. Now work 5 single crochet with the white yarn. Switch back to purple yarn and work 1 invisible decrease. Switch again to white yarn and work 5 single crochet. Then switch back to purple yarn, work 1 invisible decrease, followed by 5 single crochet. Repeat this sequence one more time. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. You should have a total of 36 stitches at the end of round 10. For round 11, start with 1 chain, work 1 increase, then 5 single crochet. Next, work 1 increase followed by 3 single crochet. Now switch to white yarn. Here we'll crochet Mang's puff cheek. Work 3 half double crochet increases. After the puff cheek, work 5 single crochet. Then 1 increase. Followed by 5 single crochet. Next, create the second puff cheek by working 3 half double crochet increases in white. Then switch back to purple yarn. Work 3 single crochet. Followed by 1 increase. And finish with 5 single crochet. Slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. You should have a total of 46 stitches at the end of round 11. For round 12, start with 1 chain. Work 12 single crochet with the purple yarn. Next, switch to white yarn and work 6 half double crochet. Then continue with 12 single crochet. After that, work another 6 half double crochet. Now, switch back to purple yarn and work the remaining 10 single crochet. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close it. You should have a total of 46 stitches at the end of round 12. Next, we'll attach the 4mm eye beads and nose bead. Insert the eye beads between rounds 10 and 11, making sure there are 3 stitches between both eyes. Then insert the nose bead between rounds 11 and 12, centered evenly between the eyes. Once you're happy with the placement, secure them firmly. If you're using plastic safety beads with posts, you can carefully melt the tip of the post with a lighter and gently flatten it to lock it in place. For round 13, start with 1 chain. Work 1 invisible decrease, then 5 single crochet, next work 1 invisible decrease, followed by 3 single crochet. Switch to white yarn and work 6 half double crochet. Then continue with 5 single crochet. Followed by 1 invisible decrease, and 5 single crochet. Next, work another 6 half double crochet in white. After that, switch back to purple yarn. Work 3 single crochet, then 1 invisible decrease, and finish with 5 single crochet. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close it. You should have a total of 42 stitches at the end of round 13. For round 14, simply follow the pattern as instructed, making sure to keep your color changes neat and your decreases smooth. You should have a total of 37 stitches at the end of round 14. For round 15, start with 1 chain. Work 1 invisible decrease, then 3 single crochet. Next, work 1 invisible decrease, followed by 1 single crochet. Now, switch to white yarn and work 3 half double crochet invisible decreases. To work half double crochet invisible decreases, yarn over, then insert your hook into the front loop of the next 2 stitches. Yarn under and pull through. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all loops to complete the decrease. Then continue with 1 invisible decrease, three single crochet, another 1 invisible decrease, and 2 single crochet. Next, work another 3 half double crochet invisible decreases, after that, switch back to purple yarn, work 3 single crochet, then 1 invisible decrease, and finish with 3 single crochet. Slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. You should have a total of 26 stitches at the end of round 15. For round 16, start with 1 chain, work 2 single crochet, then 1 invisible decrease, followed by 2 single crochet, now switch to white yarn and work 1 invisible decrease, followed by 1 single crochet, repeat this sequence 3 times. Next, work 1 invisible decrease, followed by 2 single crochet, switch back to purple yarn, work 1 invisible decrease, then 2 single crochet, followed by 1 invisible decrease, and finish with 1 single crochet. Slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. You should have a total of 19 stitches at the end of round 16. Next, let's fill Mang with polyester fiber. Add the stuffing little by little, gently shaping the head as you go. Filling gradually helps keep Mang's face smooth and even, making the puffed cheeks and head shape look neat. For round 17, just follow the pattern as instructed, keeping your stitches neat and even to maintain Mang's shape. For round 18, you can cut off the white yarn and continue with purple yarn. Work 6 decreases with purple yarn. Once done, cut the yarn and pull through to secure. Finally, weave all the front loops to fasten off neatly. This completes Mang's head shaping and ensures a clean, smooth finish. And just like that, Mang's head is complete. You can see the puffed cheeks, color changes, and shape all come together perfectly. After that, embroider the mouth shape on round 13. Here's a small tip for creating a nice curved mouth. Once you're happy with the curve, apply a tiny amount of glue to the yarn, then let it dry completely. This will help the mouth hold its curved shape nicely. Next, let's work on Mang's ears. Pick the blue yarn, make a knot in a magic ring, and work 6 single crochet into the ring. Next, pull the yarn tail tightly to close the ring. There's no need to slip stitch to close the round. For round 1, start with 1 chain, then turn your work. Work an increase in every stitch. You should have a total of 12 stitches. Cut the yarn, leaving enough to sew the ear later. Repeat this to make another blue ear, and then make 2 ears in purple. Next, we'll assemble Mang's ears. Take a blue ear as the inner part and a purple ear as the outer part, and sew them together carefully. For an easier option, you can also use a little fabric glue to join them before sewing. This will give Mang's ears a neat and layered look. And just like that, Mang's ear is complete. Next, let's work on Mang's hair. Start by making 3 chains. For row 1, start with 2 chains. Then insert your hook into the back bump of the foundation chain. Work 3 half double crochet. There's no need to cut the yarn. Repeat the same steps again. Make 3 chains. For row 1, start with 2 chains. Insert the hook into the back bump of the foundation chain and work 3 half double crochet. This creates Mang a soft and fluffy hair. Cut the yarn and left enough for sewing later. Now let's crochet the cheeks. Pick a pink yarn, make a knot in a magic ring, then work 7 single crochets into the ring. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring. Remember, left enough yarn for sewing later. Use a yarn needle to pass through from the second stitch to the last stitch to end the round. Make 2 cheek pieces using the same pattern. Next, let's work on Mang's hand. Pick up the light purple yarn. Make a knot in a magic ring. Then work 5 single crochets into it. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring and finish the round with a slip stitch. For round 1, start with 1 chain, then work 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase. Repeat this sequence again. And in the last stitch, work 1 single crochet. Finish the round with a slip stitch. You'll have a total of 7 stitches. For rounds 2 to 5, start with a chain, then work single crochet in every stitch. Finish each round with a slip stitch. Now, make another hand using the same pattern. Next, let's move on to crochet Mang's body. We'll start from the leg section and work our way up. Make a knot in the magic ring. Then work 5 single crochets into it. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring. And finish the round with a slip stitch. For round 1, start with 1 chain, then work an increase in every stitch. Finish the round with a slip stitch and you'll have 10 stitches. For rounds 2 to 3, start with a chain, then work single crochet in every stitch. Finish each round with a slip stitch. Now, make another leg using the same pattern but don't cut the yarn. Now, join the two legs by making a slip stitch into the other leg. For round 4, start with one chain, then work single crochet in every stitch around. You'll work 10 single crochets in the first leg. And continue around the second leg for a total of 20 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For rounds 5 to 9, start each round with one chain, then work single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Keep repeating this for each round to build up the body evenly. For round 10, start with one chain, then work 2 single crochets, followed by 1 invisible decrease. Repeat this sequence 5 times. By the end of the round, you'll have a total of 15 stitches. Finish with a slip stitch to end the round. Once you've finished, cut the yarn, but make sure to leave enough yarn to join the body to the head later. Next, let's crochet Mang's scarf. Pick up the blue yarn and start with 4 chains. For row 1, begin with 1 chain, then insert your hook into the back bump of the foundation chain. Work 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 1 double crochet, and finally 1 triple crochet in the last stitch. Cut the yarn and leave enough length for sewing later. This creates a nice triangle shape for the scarf. Now that all the parts are done, let's assemble everything together. First, sew the blush pieces on both sides. Between rounds 11 to 13, right on the puff cheek area. Next, sew the ears on top of the head between rounds 2 to 4 on both sides. Use blue yarn to join the blue part and purple yarn to join the purple part. This will give you a much neater finish. After sewing, make sure to hide all the yarn ends nicely. Now, fill the body and hands with polyester fiber. Then sew the body to the head, making sure you find the perfect center so Mang sits straight. Once the body is attached, sew both hands onto the sides around round 10 of the body. Next, sew the scarf onto the front of the body. Finally, sew the hair onto the center of the head, between rounds 3 and 4. And just like that, Mang without the mask is complete. All the details come together to give him such a cute and charming look. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next BT21 character. You can also check out my previous videos for Tata, Cookie, and Koya to complete your BT21 collection. Thank you so much for watching and crocheting with me, and I'll see you in the next crochet project.